We all know it never really feels like we have enough time with our dogs out of kennels, so it can be really frustrating when they struggle to engage in the training that we're trying to do. So here's some tips for boosting engagement with dogs in kennels. So firstly, we want to look to teach something like an activation behaviour, so something that tells the dog that we're going to start doing some work. So this could be a down or a sit. The problem with sit might be that other people are probably using it, so you might want something a bit different, a hand touch, something that's consistent, that gives the dog that indication they're going to start working now. So that's our first tip. Secondly, what we can do is bookend our training. So what we mean by that is build up reinforcement depending on whereabouts we are in the training. So we'll start with a behaviour and then we'll give a really big jackpot reward to really get the dog engaged. And that doesn't necessarily mean more food in one handful. It could be that we're feeding the dog multiple pieces. We're doing a really big show of how happy we are the dog got the behaviour right. Then we're going to do 2 or 3 reps, rewarding the dog every time, and then doing another big jackpot reward, and then building up the number of reps and making sure that we end on a really big jackpot before the dog is tired or unable to perform the behaviour anymore. Something that we can teach that's really easy, that really helps with engagement, is a catch. It means we can change the way we deliver our food and keep food delivery fun as well as being rewarding by giving the food. So when we first start to teach us to catch, what we want to do is say the word and then deliver the food directly to the dog's mouth. So catch, good, catch, good, catch, good, catch. And then once we've done that a few times, we can start to increase the distance before you drop the food. Catch, good catch. And we're just going to do that 5 or 6 times, gradually increasing the distance as the dog gets better at starting to open their mouth to receive the treat. One thing that really helps with engagement is how well the dog takes the treats from you as well. So what we want to do is really get a dog, yes, who's trying really hard to push into your hand to gain access to those treats, yes. So we're just going to build that up with the dog engaging in our hand, yes. And when they're pushing in, mark and reward, yes. Yes. And that means we can keep the dog engaged. We can start to use our hand as a bit of a lure. You can see Jess isn't that great at following a lure, so it's something that I'd want to build up with her to keep that engagement when we're moving into different positions. Yes. And one of my all-time favourite tips for dogs who struggle with engagement is circuit training. So rather than just focusing on one exercise, we set up stations where we're going to do 3 or 4 exercises. So the first could be the training that you want to do. That could be muzzle training, it could be whatever you're working on at that time. And then the next station we're going to move to is going to be something really easy. So a couple of repetitions of sit or something the dog knows really well. The next station might just be a snuffle mat or a licky mat. Something completely different that's still going to get that dog engaged and seeking reward, but in a much easier way. And then the final section might be raggy play or something really fun for you and the dog to do together. And then we do this for a couple of seconds each time, a couple of repetitions each, before moving back into the next circuit. Obviously, we still want to make sure we're taking breaks, but the circuit can be a really nice way to break down what the dog is doing and keep them engaged for longer.